Hey everyone, have you ever worked with an AI chatbot that gave you a great answer but couldn't actually do anything? You asked it to create a ticket, send an email, or fetch data, and it just explained the steps instead. That's the gap Azure Agents designed to solve. Today, we'll understand what Azure Agents are, how they work inside Azure AI Foundry, and how they enable real automation using tools, APIs, and workflows. To answer all of these questions, let's welcome Seher from our AI team. Over to you, Seher.
Hello and welcome to the training session on Microsoft Azure, where we'll be exploring on how we can develop an agents with the help of Microsoft Azure platform. In this session, we're going to discuss about how we can create an agents, how we can explore the agents, configuring of agent, testing an agents, and how they are trying to build upon the Microsoft Azure platform. And we can also have a quick hands-on demonstration with the help of creation and configuration of agents with the help of Microsoft Azure Foundry and agent creations. By the end of this session, we will be in a position to understand the concepts related to agents. We will be understanding how we can get started with creating our own agents for our work. Let's begin and get started. As you can see, we'll start with what is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is an umbrella term which will be handling generative AI, agents and automation, natural language, computer vision, and information extraction, on which the foundational aspect is machine learning. Machine learning is the foundation that enables the AI system to learn from the data, where generative AI tries to create a new set of information and agents and automation, wherein that is our focus for the today's session. But before getting started into deep analysis of agents, I'm going to quickly give you an overview of all these capabilities related to artificial intelligence. I'm quickly going to share my whiteboard. Yes. So here it goes. We'll start with artificial intelligence. That is nothing but AI is a capability which tries to mimic the human decision-making capacities. Under that, we have multiple domains. As we have already discussed on that, the first is machine learning. Machine learning describes the foundational aspect that enables your system to learn from the data. That means we will be providing some historical information on top of which it was trying to generate a new set of information based on the previous data which we have passed. Coming to the second most important capability of your AI, that is generative AI. Generative AI is again the capability related to an artificial intelligence where models that try to create a content by on its own, such as text, images, video, audio, etc. Like that, we do have another capability, that is NLP, that is nothing but natural language processing. What exactly NLP is doing over here is where you are going to create or understand and generate human understandable language. Let me write in a way like understand and generate human language. Coming to another capability of our artificial intelligence, that is computer vision. What exactly computer vision is doing over here is it tries to interpret the images and the languages present into the images. Basically, it tries to interpret images, extract the text, even if it is in the form of images as well as videos. We will be addressing this as interpreting images and videos. Coming to the main part of today's discussion, that is agents and automation. That is what our focus for today's session, that is agents and automation. As we have pretty much clear understanding about the generative AI concept, which will help us to create a new set of information, and that information can be of any format, that is text, images, videos, etc. That means user is going to ask some set of questions or the prompt or some instructions, and AI is going to perform those set of instructions and give you the output or the response. Now, coming to agents and automation, this is considered as an intelligent system. These are considered as an intelligent system that helps to achieve or complete some task. That helps to achieve or complete task. So basically, your agents are going to act on behalf of yourself. We'll be going to understand more in depth into further upcoming slides over here. I'm going to quickly go ahead with the topic of discussion. As you can see, generative AI, agents and automation, natural language, computer vision, information extraction, and machine learning are the capabilities of artificial intelligence. So our focus for today is agents and automations. Today we are narrowing down to our focus specifically related to agents, how AI agents can be created and where and all it can be applicable. Agents go beyond just answering a question. As I've already mentioned, whenever you're using generative AI applications, you will be asking some request or prompt. Your AI model is going to assist you with that. Let's say if I'm asking what is the weather in Paris right now, so it is going to give me the information all related to the Paris weather, and it can also give you weather forecasting and the previous weather reports. But what about agents and automation? It is going to understand the context, make your decisions, use respective tools, and take an actions. Let's define them more clearly. We'll start with what are AI agents, and we're going to explore the practical aspects also related to that. Let's begin with what are AI agents. On the screen, you can see over here, there's a quick overview with an illustration provided for you. AI agents are nothing but the smart software services which helps you to combine generative AI models, contextual knowledge, and tools to automate the task. So let's walk through this particular examples as you can show in this particular illustration here. The step one starts with the user who's going to ask some set of questions about some expenses. And step two, where your agent is going to process that question as a prompt that you're trying to ask. And step three tries to ground the information that you have already passed. That is something which, imagine if I have some expenses which I have raised from my personal account, I want to claim it for the reimbursement. I do have to provide my company policy data based on which the reimbursement has to happen. So that is something, the grounding the information, wherein it grounds the prompt using the company's data policy. And now the step four, where your language model is trying to interpret and generate the response based on the grounded information and the user's question that what you have asked. And in step five, based on the responses generated, the agent can take the respective action, whether it should give you to, it will ask you to apply for a reimbursement, or it should ask for submitting a claim request to be processed and generate specific payment check. What else it has to perform the action that can be taken care in step number 5. Have you noticed something that is very important over here? The agent is not only answering the question that you have asked about your expense policy, but also it is going to give you some type of information that is in place of you, it is taking an action on behalf of yourself by applying the reimbursement or an expense claim. So that is what action for you all, guys. Let's start with what are all the options that we do have for agent development. On the screen, as you can see, we have Foundry agent service. We have OpenAI Assistance API. We have Microsoft Agent Framework, AutoGen, Microsoft 365 Agent SDK, Copilot Studio, and Agent Builder. So what exactly these services means are, they are several options for building your AI agents. I'll be exploring this particular AI development options. Today, in this particular training, we're going to explore on Foundry Agent Services. This is one such service where you have a managed Azure services for creating, managing, deploying, developing, testing, and even scaling your AI agents securely in the enterprise application. Moving on to OpenAI Assistance API, that is a standard API for an agent style development, and it can use OpenAI models available for your experimentation or the demonstration. Microsoft Agent Framework, on the other hand, it is a lightweight development kit for building an AI agents, and it is one of the unified orchestrating platform which will include your multi-agent solutions, and it will help you to collaborate with different set of agents as well. And AutoGen is somewhere which will be helpful for it is a kind of an open source framework and which will be helpful for great experimentation and research purposes. Wherein Microsoft 365 Agents SDK, that's a software development kit for deploying agents across multiple communication channels. Copilot Studio, another option for your low-code development environment for building and deploying your agents, wherein agent builders are nothing but a declarative tool for your business users inside that particular Microsoft Copilot. So in this course, we're going to focus on Microsoft Foundry and Foundry Agent Services and Microsoft Agent Framework. Okay, so our focus for this particular training is on Microsoft Foundry, Microsoft Foundry Agent Services, and Microsoft Agent Framework, as I've already mentioned. Microsoft Foundry provides a project-based resource management. It will have a model catalog. It will have a visual agent design tools and SDK-based development. So in this training, we will look for three different aspects, that is Microsoft Foundry, Foundry Agent Service, and Microsoft Agent Framework. I'm going to quickly give you the demonstration of what exactly these three are. We'll start with Microsoft Foundry. Microsoft Foundry. As I've already mentioned, we have a Foundry Agent Service and Microsoft Agent Framework. So what exactly these tasks are, we have to define over here, and I'm going to give you the practical demonstration as well. Microsoft Foundry is an AI development platform. And your Foundry Agent Services managed agent hosting, wherein Microsoft Agent Framework is your development toolkit. So on this particular three different platforms that we're going to perform our agents, and this gives us both flexibility as well as scalability. Flexibility and enterprise grade security for our creation and deployment of our agents. Okay, let's get back to the slides. We'll explore on what are all the components of an agent now. We have understood agent is something when I'm asking a prompt, it is not only giving you an answer or the response, but it will also take an action. After giving the response, what action has to be taken, it is going to perform that. So it is not restricted only to give you a response. It's like, it's not only kind of giving you a Q&A, like a chatbot or a Q&A, but instead it is going to perform some set of actions based on the user's choices or the preferences. Now let's see what are all the components of the agents we have. We have models, tools. Model is something, we do have thread also, model, tools, and threads. So model is something where every AI agent is consist of these three core components. Starting with model, model is the generative AI language model. It is going to pick any specific Gen AI model. Let's say if I want to develop an agent, I can pick GPT-4o, GPT-4.1, and any base model I will be picking up on which my agent has to perform. So this is a generative AI model which is trying to interpret your prompts. It is going to generate the responses, the information that you try to ask, and it is deployed from your Foundry model catalog. And coming to tools, tools are nothing but these allow the agent to search the data, and it will allow to run the code, and it will call an API, and it automates your workflows. So this is something, the two most important component of your agents, that is model and tools. And we do have thread. Thread is something which will store your conversation history. Whenever you are in a same session, when a user is trying to ask some question to your agent, an agent should maintain the conversation or the chat session that has taken place, the conversation between you and the agent in a thread. So thread is something which represent a conversation session, that it maintains a context on which the information is being exchanged, the conversation history, and the tools interaction. So if you remember one thing, an agent is a model plus tools plus memory. This is all the components that is required to create an agent. Now, moving on to why are AI agents useful? So we can find out certain use cases and real-time applications connected over here. We started with automation, decision making, scalability, and 24/7 availability. So your AI agents provide a value in four major ways. Apart from that, we can also use agents based on the personal choices, but these are the four different areas where we can use agents. Starting with automation, your automation is going to handle the repetitive task and which will prone to human errors in that specific fields. We can incorporate agents to increase the efficiency. Coming to decision making capacity, where they can analyze the trends and they can provide them new insights. Let's take an example of stock market prediction as well. Scalability, they scale your operations without any proportional cost increases. And for 24/7 availability, they operate continuously and respond you back instantly without any delay in the responses. So common use cases will be including the personal productivity, for research purpose, sales, customer service, and software development. Your agents, all in all, transform your workflows across multiple industries. Now we can look upon how agents resource can be set up. We do have two important techniques, that is basic setup, that is basic agent setup, and the standard agent setup. Basic setup will be having some simple infrastructure that you can see here. You can set up the agent in two different ways. You can opt, are you trying to set up an agent with the basic option or a standard option? Under basic setup option, we have Microsoft Foundry. From that, you will try to relate to a project, and then you can connect with Azure AI services. It is really good if you want to operate an agents for learning purpose or for building a small projects or any quick experimentation. If you want to perform, you always go with basic agent setup. Coming to second option that we have, that is standard agent setup. That is Foundry AI Hub we have. Under that, Foundry project will come, and we have connected services, that is Azure Key Vault, Azure AI Search, Azure AI Services, and Azure AI Storage. So this setup is recommended for enterprise solution if you want to develop some projects related to the production workload and secure deployments, suitable for the standard agent setup. Now, as we have understood the setup, we'll understand more about the tools which is required for your agent. We do have two set of tools that we need to mention over here. That's the knowledge tools and action tools. Knowledge tools and action tools are nothing but these tools which will make your agent so powerful. And they have two set of categories, as you can see on the screen. Starting with knowledge tools, it will start from bin search. Bin search uses search results to ground the prompts. So it is kind of, live web results. If you want to generate that time, you can use bin search. File search is you can search the uploaded documents. From the documents that you have uploaded, it tries to ground the information from those set of files that you have added. That is your file search. Azure AI search is enterprise search indexing. Microsoft Fabric is another way where you can go with enterprise data integration, and licensed data is external APIs via OpenAPI. Like that way, these tools reduces hallucination and improve the accuracy. As in, when you try to ask certain information, instead of generating false information or non-factual data or give the responses being based on the assumption, it will try to avoid that. So you will be providing these different set of knowledge tools to avoid hallucination. Coming to action tools, we have code interpreter, function, Azure Functions, and OpenAPI spec, where these allow your agents to do the things. And code interpreter, run your Python in a sandbox. Function calling, invoke your custom logic. Azure Functions calls your, it tries to calls the serverless Azure. It executes the serverless APIs with the help of Cloud Code. And Open API specs calls your external API. So this is how your agents try to submit the forms, update the system, trigger certain workflows, and process different set of files. Knowledge tools inform action tools, and knowledge tools give you the information, and your action tools try to perform the action and executes. This is how your agent is going able to perform the question. Okay, moving on, we can have a creating an agent in Microsoft Foundry portal. So this is some practical demonstration we can do over here. We have certain set of information that we can perform. Okay, I'm going to quickly share my screen with all of you to explain how agents can be created with the help of Microsoft Foundry. Okay, here as you can see, we have landed into the Microsoft Foundry portal. And if I want to create an agent, as you can see, this is an overview page where we have model catalog. Let's see, if I click on this model catalog, I can get the details of all the models which is available for me to work on. And we do have playgrounds where we can work on chat playground, video playground, image playground. We can switch on which particular work we will be doing. Let's talk about agent creation today. What I'm going to do is, as you can see, we have the start building option. I can just straight away clicking on start building to create a new agent. I will be getting launched into a new agent portal. Let me just quickly create a project. One second. Yeah, Microsoft Foundry. Okay, I'll just go to home. We can launch a new project by clicking the new project. Foundry resources fine. Subscription I need to select. The resource group I can select with any available resource. And yeah, project name I'm going to give is as demo agent creation. I'll click on create. It will take some time to create. In the meantime, if you want to create such of agents and you want to work on generative AI applications, you can explore the Microsoft Learn document. We do have certain exercises related to that, and documentations is available on respective portals. As you can see, this is the exercise that we are trying to perform, that is explore AI agents development. So in this exercise, we are going to create a Foundry project and an agent. We try to configure the agent and try to test an agent. Are we can able to work on it or not? Okay, all set. We can click on let's go. As you can see, the project is being created. I can start building it. Now I can click on create agent. The moment I click on create an agent, I need to give some name to an agent. Let me just give an expense agent that we have already explored what are all the different steps that we need to carry out. So I'm giving expense agent 1 and I click on create, and it will take some time to create that agent name. And now as I've already mentioned that I need to apply for some expense policy, so there should be some grounded information that I have to pass. As you can see, the moment I have clicked on creating an agent, we have launched into this UI. And now I need to give some instructions what exactly my agent is going to do. So now I'll be giving some instructions to my agent. That is, if you are an AI assistant for corporate expense, and let me just add these instructions over here. You are an Let's see, you are an AI assistant for corporate expenses. You answer the question about expenses based on the expense policy data. If a user wants to submit an expense claim, you get their email address, a description of the claim, and the amount to be claimed, and write the claim details to a text file that can downloadable. So these are the instructions I'm giving to my agent on what exact parameters it has to perform. All right. So as you can see, it has to give certain information based on the company policy data, right? So I will be passing some grounded information. For that, what we can do is, as of now, we can use some document that is from policy expense policy of a company, which we can get it from MS Lawn GitHub repository. When I use this URL, as you can see, we have expense policy. So they have given some categories and limits and certain guidelines. For travel, they have given $500 per trip, and guidelines is being provided. Like that, accommodation $150 per night, meals $50 per day, and entertainment $100 per day, and guidelines is also being provided. So what I can do is, right now, this is the grounded information. I can download this file. Okay. Once the file is being downloaded, I'll come back to my agent page. As you can see, we do have a tools option over here. I can click on upload files. When I click on upload files, I can add the company policy data over here. I can go to browse for files. I can download whatever the file which I have downloaded. I can upload it. I can browse for file. I can open that file and upload it. So the moment when I've uploaded this file, it will take some time to load, and this is what the knowledge base we are providing. So whenever you're asking any question to an agent, hey, I have spent $20 for my breakfast. Could you please do this expense claim for me and submit it to my manager? On which you need to provide your company data. As you can see, we have loaded the file and I need to attach it. I will be attaching the file to my knowledge base so that my agent is not going to give you any assumption or hallucination it should do. It should take the response and perform the action based on what my company policies are. So as you can see, we have added one file, which you can see over here. It is already loaded. Now, apart from that, what else can be added is, okay, once the creation of an agent, I need to look for some other tool that is codes as well. So I need code interpreter tool also. Let me add that code interpreter tool as well to check the code functioning. Okay, now code interpreter is also being added. Instruction is being added. All right, we are set to use the agent right now. So what I'm going to do is I can quickly go to save the agent. Okay, let me save the agent right now. Saving the agent. Okay, once the instructions has been added and it is saved, now what and all I can do is I can straight away go for use this particular mod. So what I can do over here is I will ask some set of question to my agent. That is, what is the maximum amount that I can claim for meals? Let me check whether my agent is going to give you an answer. So for that, we should come to a chat playground of an agent option. So here we are into the agent playground button. Here, when I click on what is the maximum I can claim for meals, when I hit the command, so it will give me the information based on what company policy document which I have added. It is not going to give any assumption or some irrelevant information, but as you can see, it is also tagging which particular document it has taken. So it is telling me that maximum amount that I can claim for meal is $50 per day. All right, so this is the information that I had received from the policy document. Now, I would like to submit some option for my meals. So now what I'm going to do is I'll just paste this prompt that I would like to submit a claim for a meal. Let me check it, what it is asking. So can you see here, please provide me with your email address, a description of the meal expense claim, and the amount that you should wish to claim. Okay, let me just give that details as well over here. I'll just give the email ID, that is to whom the mail has to send. That is fred@contoso.com. And I will also mention about the breakfast cost that I have spent. So now can you see here, when I've given the email address, it is going to ask me, please provide a description of the meal expense and the amount that you would like to claim. When I give breakfast cost me $20, Here it goes. You will be getting the response. Thank you. Just to confirm, email is fred@contuso.com. Description is the breakfast. Amount you have spent is $20. Is that correct? Would you like me to proceed with generating your claim file? Yes. I'm just going to give this command that yes, please go ahead. My agent is not going to give me the respond, but it is also going to take an action on behalf of me. When I'm going to yes, please go ahead, and that is where you can see we have got the file, that is I have created your expense claim file with the details that you have provided. You can download using the link below. Okay, so this is something what our agent is trying to do. Provide the file to download. Here is a link that you can download it, and let me gonna quickly show you what exactly the file is generating and what information that we have received. Let me just show you that right away with you. Once the policy is being generated, here we have got the claim that it has given after submitting the actions to be performed. As you can see, here it is going to explain the claim submission, and it is going to give you which particular email address it has sent and the description and the amount. So this is something, team, that is we have learned about the agents, how agents try to respond your actions, how it is going to give the information and the details associated with performing and actions, including your responses as well. All right, so this is the demonstration we have done and the exercise that we have performed by deploying a model, creating an agent, and configuring the knowledge tool and test the agent in the playground. With that, we can also look upon how exactly we can switch to performing certain informations with the help of code also. As you can see, we are into the chat playground option. When I switch to code, I can use this code to develop my own agent. I can change certain functions related to the agent that I have created. So I can use this code, or I can copy the code. I can open it in a Visual Studio Code, and it will download all the requirements that will be available and use for me to implement this Visual Studio Code for me. It will set up the environment, it will download all the requirement files, which is downloading packages, and how and where I have created this project. We do have some project details, like we have some endpoint details, we have the project name and creation, what is the grounded information that I have added in terms of tools. All that information can be loaded with the help of the code. So this is something where I have added this code interpreter tool, because if I want to relate it to some SDK, the same code I will be using to relate or to connect with any other agent or multi-agent collaboration. As you can see, it is setting up the environment in Visual Studio Code, and it will try to fetch all the details and the dependencies that we have created during the agent creation, and it will try to relate with the exact project that you have used over here. As you can see, we have used GPT 4.1 mini model for this particular agent creation, and you do have an option to publish this agent. It can try to connect with your Teams and Microsoft 365 Copilot as well. As you can see, it is loading and downloading all the packages connected to this agent. Once it is downloaded, you can see the agent option available and code as well, and you can see this run agent.py. This is the Python file, all the documents which is being loaded. If you are looking at here, you have got the endpoint details also. It has got fetched from that agent. So that is what, when we try to add some tools over here, when we try to add code interpreter tool, this is going to give you the details. Now, if you want to do some other experimentations in the chat playground, you can come to the chat and perform the exercise. All right, team. So this is what we have discussed so far related to agents creations. Let's summarize what we have covered today. So we have explored the AI agents. We have started discussing with artificial intelligence and agent creations. Your AI agents are nothing but your intelligence system that is that combine your language models, which will have context grounding, and it has tool based actions. And where we have tried to perform with Microsoft Foundry. Your Microsoft Foundry provides a secure platforms, scalable platform, and enterprise ready services and flexible development options. And by combining these models with tools, different set of tools, file search and code interpreter, you can build an agents that just don't even respond, but also they can take the meaningful actions. Yes, in the next sections, we will move from theory to hands-on experiments for further details. With that, I can conclude this particular session with this summary, that is AI agents try to combine your Gen AI models, which will help you to bring the information along with the responses and action. And by integrating these knowledge and tools action, you can enable your decision-making capacity and automation and 24/7 business support.
The future of AI isn't about generating better responses, it's about AI systems that can reason, decide, and execute. Thanks for joining and happy building. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos.